Okay, so for this technique, what I'm going to use is I'm going to use a piece of Whisper White cardstock. And I'm actually using 3 colors of ink. I've got Daffodil Delight, Melon Mambo, and Pumpkin Pie. And a couple of stamp sets. The first one I'm going to use is Flowering Flourishes. And I'm actually just going to use this stamp from that set. This is actually one of my favorite sets. And I've done a lot with that. I've got another video on my YouTube channel that does this with the bandana technique. And if you haven't seen it, it's a good idea to go check it out because it's a pretty cool technique. And then the last one I'm going to use is our clear mounted thank you set. Lots of thank yous, I think it's called, but it's this one here. And there's all kinds of thank yous on there. So to start with, I'm just going to take my piece of cardstock, and this one I actually cut down. It's like 4 by 5¼ but I'll put the measurements up for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to lay this onto my grid paper, and I'm kind of lining it up so that it's straight. And then I'm going to take some tape, and this is just regular painter's tape, that blue painter's tape. And what I do is I stick it to my pant leg, and that's just to get some of the sticky to come off of it, because I don't want it to tear my cardstock when I pull it off after I've used it. And so what I'm going to do is get that sticky off as much as I can, and then I'm going to come on to my grid, making sure my cardstock is lined up. I just have it kind of lined up in this corner there. And I'm going to lay down this piece of painter's tape. There we go. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the other one. And actually all I'm really doing is just masking this off, because I only want to get ink inside those blue lines. So once you've done that, then I'm going to take my Melon Mambo. I'm going to start with Melon Mambo, and I have re-inked my pads before I start this technique. And just come off your cardstock and sponge in. And sponge. And you just keep sponging until you like the look and the color. And you do want it to go from darker to lighter. And then once that's done, I'm going to come in with, I'm going to do yellow next. Only because I like to come in and then do the middle. It doesn't really matter, I don't think. It's just how I've done it. So I'm just going to sponge that and come in towards the middle and get that yellow as dark as I want it. And then I'm going to come in with a sponge, an orange. And you'll see where I'm kind of overlapping the Melon Mambo and I'm overlapping the yellow Daffodil Delight. And just bringing that in. And that just gives me a great background for my card. And then when you pull this up, hopefully, because I've put this on my jeans enough, I am hoping that it doesn't stick to that cardstock. So gently pull it off. Looks like I did pretty good with that one. And you can keep these pieces of tape and use them over and over. In fact, it's probably better. See, this one's going to pull a little bit. But I can just trim that section off. So you pull that off, and there you've got a great background. Then I'm going to come in with my clear stamp and some basic black ink, and I'm going to ink this up and make sure it's really inked up good. I want that to be a bold, bold, bold dark black. And as you know, with Stampin' Up's basic black, it sometimes takes a little bit longer for it to dry. But I can, with those clear stamps, I can get right on the line where I wanted it to be. Press that down, pull it up. I'm just going to give it a few minutes because I do want to make sure that that's dry, but I just love the look of that black on that vibrant background. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing, ink up this fabulous flourish, ink it up well, and this one's just going to get inked off. And as you can see, I went some in the color and some off the end of the stamp, and pull that up, but you can see what we're getting here. What a great background. It's quick and easy. And then all I did with this piece was go ahead and layer it onto a piece of basic black. And I like to do a layer sometimes of just 1/8 of an inch around the sides. It just gives a little bit of a trim out. And then I put it onto actually a piece of Melon Mambo. So you can see how it's trimmed out. And then added a couple of rhinestones into those flowers just to add a little bling to this card. But this is a very basic, simple card. But I love that look of the sponging. So it's a great way to get a background that looks fabulous. Thanks.